is micro-learning and gamification. I hope you've heard these trending terms in the pediatric toolkit for teaching and learning. So, why do you think we are talking of micro-learning and gamification in education? The last bencher should answer it well. We are talking of the next Gen Zs. We are teaching Gen Zs these days, and sooner or later we'll be getting Gen Alpha. And for their learning styles, as Dr. Premji also stressed, we have to update ourselves and make teaching more interesting. So that is what I'll take you through and give you a little hands-on kind of experience of how we can do it in the classes. So basically, the old type of didactic lecture where we were bringing some 40-50 slides, reading them out, and ending the lecture, we'll try to modify it and try to add some scans, the QR codes, and certain swipes for the residents to keep them engaged. So the learning points would be telling you about what does these concepts mean, micro-learning and gamification, what are their advantages and how actually hands-on we can practice them. So again, as I discussed, didactic lectures usually used to be information overload. We are just a monologue. We are just not interacting with the audience, and students are coming for attendance. Because of which they used to feel that typical board appearance and they are not happy. So let's try to modify if we can. And especially now, because learners prefer very short, interactive kind of learning. So we'll see how these two elements address this concept. So I would suggest that we should understand that micro-learning is the bite rather than the entire thing. It's a small bite-sized teaching. We are teaching in small parts the important aspects, but gamification is the spice. So we can spice it up by adding some games, quizzes to our lectures rather than giving a monologue. So let's start with gamification. If I say the name gamification, what comes to your mind?
Video games.
Video games. Anything else? Games. If I say let's play game, what comes to your mind?
Crosswords, puzzles.
Crosswords, puzzles, featured residents.
Quizzes.
Sudoku. Okay, good. What else? Feel free to answer. You don't have to give very politically correct answers. Candy Crush. Yes. See, faculty is more interesting. Anything else? PUBG. Okay. So now, if what we do, now I asked you a question. Out of all of you, at least I would say 1/3 of you interacted and answered. Similar thing will happen if I start a class. If I ask 150 to 200 students anything, there are at least 10-20 which are very engaged. They'll be answering, taking notes, very active, answering. There are others who want to, but somehow they are not that socially active. They have their own inhibitions. Not that they are not listening or interested, but they don't want to answer in such a setup. So what can we do? How can we start such a class? We can make use of the first aspect, which is a word cloud. So what is it? You can scan it. All of you can scan it. I'll try to get an internet connection and see if it works. And can you scan it? Feel free to scan and reach. So you are asked the same question here. So, am I getting answers? I'm also logged in. Kindly type your answers. Are you able to submit? The net is a little slow here. Speed, Kahoot, okay. Childhood games, okay. Thrill, okay. What else? So I'm getting gratification in teaching. So I'm getting all these answers. So what has happened? This is what I'm getting. This is the live feed if it starts. But at least I am getting it here. If the internet connection works, you can get it directly on the platform. So you will get something like this. Okay, so this is the kind of start to the lecture you can give, where everybody can give their input and everybody feels acknowledged and heard that I could engage. So in the start of the lecture, you can engage your audience. This is something which is good for teachers. Once you are starting a topic, you can get everybody on board. All your students will be involved with you. Okay, so gamification overview, what do we understand? Basically, we are introducing game elements into non-game settings. So education, typically classes, medical school, we always think of non-game setting. So here we are adding game elements. I'll talk of what are the game elements here. What else? it helps in why has it been added? What do they say? That when you play a game and learn something, the retention is longer. So you retain it, you tend to retain it. And because of this, there have been certain evidence-based studies on this which are showing it. So it has come up in a good way. But we are lagging in medical schools to go right with it. And in pediatrics especially, what we are dealing with is vulnerable population. So if I want my PG resident to say, do a CPR on a child, or say even I would say, do abdominal examination, it is better we play a game, we teach him, we do audiovisual simulation somewhere so that he knows, and thereafter he goes and touches the vulnerable population. So this way, it can be added as a addition, a spice, but not the main content. Be aware of this part. So these are the core elements of gamification. Are you aware of online learning platforms, especially students? So here they are very well using it. If you have your kids enrolled in any of the online coaching platforms, this is what they are using, and the students are enjoying it like anything. How longer the satisfaction will hold is something else, we can debate it. But right now what I am seeing, these school students, primary, secondary, they are enjoying it like anything. On the online platform, there are 1,000 students enrolled. You are in the top 10, you get a badge, you get a points, you are on the leaderboard, your name is first, they are enjoying it like everything. And we all have played games, so we understand levels. It becomes addictive. As level 2 khatam nahi watch karke hi sona hai, so do next level jana hi jana, tough wala karna hi karna hai. So this levels also, because we talk of spiral curriculum, we have to add complexity in our teaching on the same topic, so they help in that also. And most important is feedback. We discussed 150 students, even I take a 20 marks paper, I don't know after a week or 10 days I'll answer to them. By that time their level of understanding and receptiveness would have changed. So here if I am using one of these gamification methods, the immediate instant feedback can be given to them, and I can also change my teaching style over the course of the class, which I will show you soon. So before we go, the second concept I have to deal with is micro-learning. So now what is micro-learning? Again, tidbit sizes rather than giving the entire aspect. Suppose I have to take up epilepsy now as a topic for my residents. So what I'll divide, rather than talking of what are epilepsy, what is the definition, what are the etiologies, what are the classification, how you diagnose, treat, status epilepticus, manage, I will take a very important topic and now take it as a micro-learning topic and try to add some gamification into it. So for this class purposes, I have taken up the definition of epilepsy as per the ILEE, which is the International League Against Epilepsy criteria, right? So let's see what happens. So benefits of both of these, we've understood. Engagement of the audience is much higher. Immediate feedback we discussed. Now instance, if the students are, I'll show you just now in the next slides, if the students have not understood that concept, I would not know, because the ones who know will be shouting at the top of their voice. The ones which are subdued, I cannot understand whether they've understood or not. They are silent either way. So here I can make use of a formative assessment while taking the class and modify the later part of my class to deliver according to the requirement of my students. So what is micro-learning? See, this is what I am trying to do. Now this is the entire thing I want to teach my residents, that what is the definition of epilepsy. When do we call a child having epilepsy, and when do we call a child as having resolved from epilepsy? So 5 points are there. If you see, I'll just give you a quick review. That first one, every one of us know that there are 2 unprovoked seizures 24 hours apart. Second is, one seizure also you can diagnose epilepsy if the possibility or the probability of having second seizure is 60%. And the third is, if there is a diagnosis of epilepsy syndrome like West syndrome, juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, right? So these are the 3 criteria. Any of these 3 we can label the child as having epilepsy. So suppose this was my entire topic. In 30 minutes I have to tell you this. This is the concept I have to take across as a concept for micro-learning. And what is resolution? 10 years seizure-free and 5 years of free from anti-seizure medication, right? So what can I do now? Suppose this is a heavy topic, neuro. Not everybody in the morning will be, in the mood to learn neuro. What can I do a day before? I can do a survey. So what can I do? Baseline survey to understand my audience. It's always better to know your audience before going and speaking out. So what can I do? A baseline knowledge survey. So what will I do? Again, sending a QR code or a link. So we all have our WhatsApp group with our badges, our CRs are there. We can send a link and hardly 3 questions for them to answer. So again, you can go scan it. You will again reach the site where I put up the survey. This is asynchronous. Anybody can answer anytime. So this is not live. So if you scan it, you'll reach that site and you can answer all the 3 questions. So because of shortage of time, I'll take you through. So these are the 3 questions. Now, like what I have asked them, have you witnessed anybody having a seizure? Now what will I get to know once I come tomorrow to take this class? Suppose I did it yesterday. Yesterday evening only I know out of the 150 students who are coming, only 10 have witnessed a seizure or 50 have witnessed a seizure. I know what is their knowledge, what is the relevance, even what question will this question bring thoughts to their mind. I had witnessed a seizure, I couldn't do anything. My cousin had it, my uncle had it in front of me. So let's go and learn tomorrow. Probably ma'am is telling something which is important. So definitely some curiosity would be there to come tomorrow to attend the lecture. Then second, I am asking about the topic, whether you know the criteria for this or not. So they'll answer yes. Now again I'll get a baseline hang that how many of my students know this topic and how many don't and how much I have to emphasize on the topic. And then thirdly, I can ask them, customize. What do you wish to learn? What do you want me to take up tomorrow? Specific any topic you want, anything you read which was not there. So like a flipped classroom, you can go read and you can let me know, I'll take it up tomorrow. So this is a baseline survey. Then which I was talking of is the formative assessment. Now what happens? First 20 minutes, 15 minutes I've delivered. I took a baseline survey, I told them, they came with curiosity, they wanted to learn. I engaged them, everybody's words was taken, all were on the same platform. I hardly 15-20 minutes I gave them that knowledge input which I wanted to give. Now I want to check how to utilize the second part of my class. So what will I do? Again, you can all scan it if you want to. You can scan, you will reach the questions. So I'll take an online live session, but for that we need a live connection. The net is slow somehow again. So this is the first question set. Okay. So this is how it will show. You can scan anytime. If some student was not paying attention, which often happens, we are monkey mind, we keep thinking, the scan will appear on every slide later on also. So the first question after taking those 20 minutes, what I asked, epilepsy is diagnosed when 2 unprovoked seizures occur separated by at least how many hours? So this is an MCQ kind of a question. I've given them 4 options. This I most likely understand that 100% would answer as 24 hours. Now if they know there are 2 unprovoked seizures 24 hours apart, this is done. I don't have to emphasize on this point any longer. So immediately I get to know this point is clear. What happens, this was a MCQ kind of a question. What another kind of question I can frame, which is a true-false question. So I say there is a 1 seizure and there is a 50% recurrence risk of another seizure. Would you classify as epilepsy or not? So this is wrong. It was 60%. Here they may be that 10-20% answer it wrong. So again I can emphasize, I can clarify, they will always remember कि 50% इतनों ने आंसर किया था, answer was right, actually 60%. So some which we were talking of visual learning and the coordination is there and the retention is much more once they are immersed into what we are teaching. So what next? Third question can be, epilepsy is considered, now they can be open-ended also. When do you consider epilepsy as resolved? So he has to write the answer here. This needs even more depth knowledge. Some might write 4 years, some might write 6 years, and then I discuss the answer is 10 years. So you always remember, ma'am ne class mein pucha tha, I had answered wrong. I typed wrong 4, answer was 10. So again, it's basically engaging them, getting them along with you while you're discussing, and at the same time analyzing how much has gone across to your student population and how much you need to repeat again. So another could be something which I have not taught. Now I say if a person has crossed, a patient has crossed the epilepsy syndrome age, will he be considered epilepsy resolved or not? Now this is something I didn't teach in these 20 minutes. This is for the outliers. They also want some motivation and that kick कि मैम ने तारीफ करी. So if somebody answers this, I should praise him separately. If this person has read beyond what is being taught in the class. So this is how I will modify my class within the those 30-40 minutes which I have by taking a formative kind of assessment. Then what next? Last 5-10 minutes are left now. Suppose my class is the third class, 10 o'clock they have to go to their rotational posting. If at 9:50 I ask my students, 10 minutes और ले ले, what will be the answer? 10 o'clock आपने जाना है, चाय समोसा ब्रेक के लिए, 9:50 हो गए, मैम पूछे 10 मिनट और पढ़ा दूँ pediatric neuro, क्या आंसर मिलेगा? No, a big no and loud no. But again that no will be hardly 10-5 answering. Rest will be neutral, silent ones. Peer pressure के कारण answer भी नहीं कर पाएंगे even if they want to listen. So what I can do, a poll. So I send them again, link लो और answer करो. So again you can scan and you will come to this quiz again where I am just asking you yes or no. So what I'm asking you, if you reach here, the question is, do you wish to see a video of a child seizing? देखनी है? दिखा दूँ जाते जाते क्लास के एंड में. So I expect the majority would answer yes here. And if 80% say answer yes, then I'll say चलो 5 मिनट और वीडियो देख के चलते हैं. So I feel the residents would feel fairness है. Consensus था majority 5 मिनट और पढ़ना चाह रहे थे, तो we read. So again I think the students, this Gen Z and Gen Alpha believe in fairness. They'll say कि majority चाहते थे 5 मिनट हम रुक गए, ठीक है? So if they say, I will take this video and I'll show them. This is a demonstrative video for serials only. So I'll show them कि ये देखो, just observe the child. Now because you said you want to see the video, you will look at it much more with interest. What happened? If you are able to identify the type of seizure, I don't have to again stress upon. If you don't tell me it's a type of seizure which has two elements, which are myoclonic and atonic, I will again stop and tell you much more details. I'll take you through the video again. So again, basically you can take the polls. So these are the various kinds of gamification methods I've taken you through which you can utilize during your class. So again, the implementation is very simple. You define a competency, take a topic. From the topic, you select a micro topic for micro teaching and learning, and then you add a gamified element. Remember, everything doesn't have to be added. Don't make gamification also boring and monotonous. So use certain aspects which are relevant to your scenario for teaching that topic, and then we implement it. We get the feedback from the students and use the PDCA cycle for quality improvement. Improvise it. So this is the toolkit for the faculty. I've used Mentimeter and Kahoot. Others which you can use is quizzes. The new name is Wayground now. You have Canva and Gmail, for which you can design specific batches. If you have the institute batches, the Department of Pediatrics, GR Medical College, Best Student Award, or the best weekly attendance. So those badges will be made from the material I gave. I'll give a PDF. I'll give this video, and it will make a full training material for the student where he has to do certain tasks. Answer the quiz, get the clue, go to the next level, finish it, write a reflection, everything will be done, and then he can be awarded either assessed formatively or summatively, any way you want. So these are next gen kind of ideas which you can try. And the last part, now even I am tired after 1 hour of taking a class, attendance. Taking attendance for 150, 200 students by faculty is not easy. Okay, even they are actually as impatient as students are at the end of the class. So what I can do? I can give you the scan, you all can scan it, and I can set a timer, and what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to write your full names and roll numbers, and immediately they'll appear on the screen. So if there's a small group, what I can do, I can identify, see I got these names. Is Dr. Shweta Anand there? Do we have Dr. Shweta Anand? Okay. Do we have Dr. Anurag Chauhan? Okay. And do we have Dr. Nilofer? Okay, why did I get their names? I was sure they'll be present in my lecture because it's the next lecture. This is a demo, don't feel they have not answered. I'm giving you a live demo how it works, okay? So this way you can recheck and you can confirm if there's any proxy or not, okay? Done. So certain tips I'd like to share just by we are reaching the end of the time, I'll not take much more time. So pro tip 1. Once you're preparing, what you want to see? You want to see how I am preparing and what the student will get on the screen. So if you want to see both of them side by side while you're preparing these quiz, so what you will do? You will look at the top end and you will identify this eye icon. Once you press that, this is the preview you get. So I'll get, once I'm typing my question, the screen I am seeing, and I'll also see what the other person or the student will see. So both can be seen together. And for attendance, as we've seen, we can either identify the individuals, or if you have the paid versions of these, there's a unique identifier so that the proxies are not there. Or what can you do? There are two things. I can put a timer, just 20 seconds to answer, but even in that you feel there is some problem of proxy, some person is typing, you can immediately stop the responses. So the moment everybody has written their roll number and the names, I can stop it, and I can also convert it into Excel sheet, send it to my PA. The attendance is already digitalized. So it again saves time. So a number of games can be even for the benefit of teachers also, not everything for the students. So these are the kind of platforms Dr. Bende has also taken you through. You can take a picture if you are interested. So these are the kind of platforms. I'm not delving into the details. So you have the highlights, what they are used for, and there are certain free plans which all of you can use, but then they have certain limitations, and what they are best for also I have enumerated and tabulated for you. And this is the second one. Again, the similar what key use they are put forward to. It's better to explore in free time and kind of pick up one or two of your choice which you can use and get more experience with. So that is my take home message, that let's attempt to make pediatrics fun or a joyful experience for our learners by adding these elements of micro-learning and gamification. So my last end quotation, I might quote that the students should play to learn and not learn to play. That should be very clear. They are already pro at learning to play. We should play to learn. So this is something we need to be sure of. Over indulgence in something can be not beneficial in the long run, and so we should do it in moderation. With this, I'll end. Any questions or anything, I'll be most happy to pick up. Thank you. Yes, please. Finally, we have a question. Yes.
Is there any free alternative for empty and cow?
Please come again.
Is there any free alternative for empty and cow?
There are no free alternatives. All of them give you some 1 month kind of a free package or 50 participants, 100 participants kind. All of them have become now expensive also.
Yeah.
That is the main issue. So best is, now if we are talking of introducing such things, they have to be done at an institute level. We did it for IAP Chandigarh. So we used it in all of our platforms. We used to have media quizzes and we used to give them awards. Amazon vouchers were given to all of them. So it was a bit...
Earlier it was a direct icon. It was very boring, and that's why the literature are possible. But now it is literature available, so it is very effective. Another thing that whatever the things you are taking about, the cost is also play very important role. They give you sedate. If you are living in AI, you have to become very educated. The moment you are educated, they will say that yes. So it is
We are dealing with businessmen, we are not dealing with charity people.
Trade driven. Attendance, taking attendance with the QR code and all, it can happen in some of the institutions. They do what they do. The teachers come, they give the biometric, and then all the students they put them within 5 minutes. They get with the attendance. And the moment they have got an absent, immediately they inform to the parents that your wards are not attended. But here, the bearing of the lecture is a very, very important, and that should be given according to the algorithm to be maintained actually. So it's very nicely implemented. But time concern play very important role. It should be
Definitely, sir. I think we need resources both in terms of infrastructure and manpower also.
and teacher.
We need those digital friendly. We have data entry operators. I think they should be utilized for such purposes as well.
Another point is the internet, availability of the internet. That is also play important role. The moment you are not working, something happens, then you are stuck with it.
Traditional teaching learning has to go on. Don't be that there's a technical glitch, I can't take a class, you can't learn. So be prepared. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए टीचर को भी आदमी नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में क्या और आपको भी नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है. So that thing should not happen. A backup plan भी always has to be there.
The only world, if there is one country in the world, now they say that no online lectures. Brazil is the first one taken their consideration. That no online lecture will be there, it will be on the chalk and board. So this is very, very important that we do.
So the long-term effects of all these methodologies are yet to be known. I'm even skeptical about them. How much we want to actually adapt to our learners, we need to draw the line. I was just discussing, they were saying that they are in their shorts, they want to attend lectures sitting on an online platform. So it will not be far off. They tell us that the teacher is already dressed up for me. Why don't you come to the hostel and take the lecture? All of them like 200 will not have to dress up. So this kind of a demand is not far away. We have to understand where to draw the line, till what level, and if they are such short attention spans and we are trying to modify our teaching according to it, will they be able to be competently deliver in the real world? A neurosurgeon saying I can't sit on a stool for 10 hours. I never used to, not being able to take 3 hours exam. So all this will become a long-term kind of impact of these consequences. We need to be very vigilant while introducing such kind of aspects. Because of shortage of time, I didn't take the limitation part, but that is definitely something to ponder upon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.